So, fun. A few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, anyway, it was a little while ago, I was in my truck at the truck stop, Flying J, West Memphis, Arkansas, just sitting there watching Netflix, whatever, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, this happened. Yes, that dickhead hit my truck. Now the funny thing is, after he hit it, I got out to look and assess the damage, right? And then he gets out of his truck to check out what's going on, and he's like, did I do that? I didn't do that. I couldn't have done that because I went like this and I turned like that. Gave some asinine explanation. I wasn't really listening. He's like, that damage looks fresh. I said, listen, guy, I'm not gonna argue with you. I got a dash cam. It saw everything. It's on video, so why don't we just go look at that? So I downloaded it from my dash cam onto my phone and showed him. And then obviously immediately he changed his tune. But I ended up driving around with the damage. I mean, we swapped information, stuff like that. But I knew I was coming in for a home time. So when I got here, I took my truck to Velocity Truck Group up in Avondale, Arizona, I think, or Tolleson, Arizona. Plus I needed some other unrelated work done. So it's been sitting there getting the work done while they do the estimate on the truck and all that. And so finally they got that all sorted out, and now I have to go and sign a piece of paper, give them my John Hancock, so they could finally start repairing the bodywork, headlight. It's total like $4,300. So let's go and sign the paperwork. I honestly don't feel like driving all the way down there, but I'd really like to have my car fixed. That's not right. I didn't mean to say car. What I meant was truck. Not car, truck. Like a choo-choo truck.
She was rocking to the song, you were looking all along, even touched your ding dong, right?
I listened to the Generation Y podcast on the way there and then screamed for absolutely no reason.
Them beating that car, kept acting like a rock star. If you act like a douche, of course you will lose, yeah. If you act like a douche, of course you will lose, yeah. If you acting like
Here I am at Velocity Truck Group. These are the magicians that are gonna fix my truck and make it all nice and pretty again. Well, here's a funny story. I drove all the way down here, and the body shop portion of the repair shop is closed on Saturdays and Sundays. And today being Saturday means I'm SOL and JWF. Shit out of luck and jolly well fucked. So, fun. I'm gonna have to come back on Monday to sign that approval. Shit. Yes. I'm back home because, like an idiot, I didn't look if they're open on the weekends, and it turns out they're not. And so now we just have to wait until Monday and just, I don't know, watch the time go by. All right, it's Monday, let's go. And now I can go down to the truck stop, not the truck stop, the Velocity Truck Group down in Tolleson, sign that stupid paperwork or whatever they need me to do so they can finally get started on fixing the damage that other guy did to my truck. Because all the other work that I was having done is already done. In fact, they got that done pretty fast. I think it was done on the following day. And that's not the norm for most truck dealerships, but for Velocity Truck Group in Tolleson, they are extremely fast. Like, I've never had a long wait time in all the times I've gone there. Now it's just a matter of getting down there. This isn't going to be just a boring drive because there are some things on my mind. Like, every now and then I just get a brilliant idea of a business, like a business idea that I think would be really great. And usually it's based on businesses that already exist, just kind of like reworking their structure or combining different businesses. In this case, it would be combining Grubhub and Pornhub, right? So basically, you get food delivered to you, but then whoever delivers the food has sex with you. That would be brilliant. Although I'm pretty sure that's probably illegal, because that would fall under, like, I don't know, prostitution or something, which it itself should be legal. I mean, if a woman wants to go around and have sex with people for money, or even a dude for that matter, just let them. Not my business. Doesn't concern me. In fact, it does not impact my life in any way whatsoever. And that's really my position. People should be able to do whatever they want to do so long as they're not hurting somebody else. So if you want to go ahead and have like 20 abortions, do it. It's difficult to put into words how weird it feels driving a car, just a regular car like this, after spending so much time driving a semi-truck. I mean, this is my girlfriend's car. It's a Scion XB. It's not, you know, by overall standards particularly fast, but when I get into it, it just feels like, wow, this thing moves with its 110 horsepower, handles like a Formula One car. It is just excellent. And that goes for any car. I get into any car and it just feels like a sports car after having driven a semi-truck for pretty much most of the time. But it's definitely hard to feel cool in a Scion XB, because this is the kind of car that I feel, I don't know, just somebody like that's not fun is trying to be fun. So they're like, I'll get a Scion XB because it's kind of fun and quirky, and then people will think that about me. But they won't, Samantha. They just won't, because you're trying to create a personality out of the car you drive. Kind of like Tesla people. Yeah, I don't think that there's a single Tesla owner that would be fun, because they just, their whole personality revolves around their car and owning a Tesla. And I can't imagine them being fun. Like, you go to a party or something, like that's the only thing they want to talk about. How they overpaid for a car that's poorly put together and has really no pedigree to it. And they're talking about it like it's the greatest thing in the world. Kind of like Ford owners. Except Ford does have pedigree. It's not a good one. It's like a mixed gene pool of things nobody else wanted, but it has one, which is still a step above Tesla. Not that I'd ever buy a Ford or a Tesla unless I really had to, and I can't think of any circumstance where I'd really have to. And I also wouldn't buy a Scion XB. However, I do appreciate that it does exist, because it does help me get to places that I need to go every now and then when I am at home. Speaking of cars though, if I could have absolutely any car on the face of the planet, without a doubt, it would be the McLaren F1. It's been my dream car ever since I've been a little kid. It's just, there's just something about that car. It looks very timeless. Even though that thing was designed in like 1989, it still looks, I mean, it could keep up with today's designs. And while it's no longer the fastest production road car in the world, it did hold that title for a very long time. And it's impressive because it has a naturally aspirated V12 engine, 6.2 liter. That's also not right. It is not a 6.2 liter. It is a 6.1 liter V12 made by BMW. See, I gotta correct these mistakes that I make in the videos. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a long list of numpties coming into my comments telling me how I did something wrong and know what to talk. And by numpties, I mean children. Made by BMW, and it managed to get to 231 miles per hour and produce 627 horsepower. And that's impressive. I mean, that is like proper engineering. But then you look at something like the Veyron or the Chiron. I mean, yeah, you got a big-ass engine, quad turbo, whatever it is. Of course it's gonna go fast. There's nothing impressive about making a big-ass engine that's got 4 turbos and like, oh, look, it goes fast. Well, no shit. Kind of like the Dodge Viper. Don't get me wrong, I love the Dodge Viper, but yeah, of course, you put a big-ass engine into a car, it's gonna go fast. I wouldn't buy a Dodge Viper, but unless I was rich. Now, if I was rich and had like disposable income, I'd buy a Dodge Viper because that's another car from my childhood. Like when that GTS model came out, the blue with the white stripes. Oh man, my shorts got tighter. Same with a Tesla. I would buy a Tesla if I had a disposable income. Because then, you know, it just kind of doesn't matter, right? I mean, I still feel kind of stupid paying that much money for a poorly built vehicle, like buying a Kia, right? But one thing I would never do, regardless of how much money I had, would be buy a Scion XB. Never. Maybe to like amuse myself, like launch one into the Grand Canyon and just have enough money to deal with the consequences and the cleanup. That would be fun. I mean, take the dashboard, for example, inside the Scion XB. Why is it in the middle? It makes no sense. The only reason it's there is for what I mentioned earlier. Oh, let's make it a little off and quirky and it'll be fun. Well, it's not fun. I like utilitarian stuff. The gauges I need to look at should be in front of me. I mean, at that point, if you want to be super quirky, might as well put them in the back seat. But as for average price, everyday kind of cars, it's not out yet, but I really want a Nissan 400Z. That thing just looks brilliant. It's got that throwback look to the old Z cars, and it just, I don't know, I love the way it looks. Kind of sucks that they put like the promotional model out there as being that piss yellow. I mean, that wasn't a good choice. But I don't know, that's if I were to buy a car, which I'm not because I just don't need one, but if I did, it would definitely be the 400Z. That thing looks excellent. I feel like I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Don't worry, I'm not gonna show them to you guys. My boogers are my business and I don't share them with anybody. You know, this one time I was hanging out with some friends. This was a long time ago. We were at a hotel somewhere getting drunk. Not sure why we were there, don't remember. But I remember this girl, Callie, she had her friend, and they were both really drunk. And her friend convinces her to blow a snot rocket in the hallway next to the elevator, and she did it. She put her finger up to her nose, blew out as hard as she could, and she just had this big ass snot that came out. And I thought, that's pretty damn cool. While some people might say, ew, that's gross and nasty and disgusting, but that's a person you know you can party with when they have no qualms about shooting a snot rocket out their nose in the middle of a hallway at a hotel. And it wasn't no sleep, it was like a nicer hotel, and she just didn't give a shit. That's the kind of person I can appreciate. A person that just doesn't give a shit and does inconsequential stuff that really hurts nobody. That's what I like. Another brilliant business idea I had, and this was many, many years ago, and in fact, it was a radio show, Nick DiGilio in Chicago, and he proposed a question to his listeners. putting together two businesses that would make them even more brilliant. And you could call in or share your answer on his Facebook page or even tweet at him. And so I did. I left my idea on the Facebook page, and he actually read it online. Here's the clip right here.
Hey, this is what I'm talking about. How about this? Roscoe says on my Facebook page, Netflix and Binny's Beverage Depot. Booze by mail, all different kinds. Just think of the impact. So along with your movie, booze. They give you a box to send back the empties? Yeah, and you get the returnables. That would be sweet. Yeah.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Binny's Beverage Depot is it's like a supermarket for alcohol, like a toy store for adults. Yes, it's like Bevmo over here that we have in Arizona. Same thing. So imagine that this is also with Netflix, but before streaming. So that's when you were just getting your movies delivered. So I guess that business idea wouldn't be in play today. And you could also get booze delivered to your home via whatever it is, that app we use, Instacart. So kind of like visionary, aren't I? One thing came in, the other thing came out. So I guess all in all, it wasn't that brilliant of an idea. That's all right. I'll crank out a banger one of these days that'll just take the world by storm or get me arrested. Can honestly go either way. That dealership is called Horny Honda and Horny Mazda. Or maybe it's just Horn with an E and it just Horn. Probably my mind is just very juvenile. You see, like, Horny Honda, but at least I admit it. I don't deny it. People say, hey, you're being childish. Fuck yeah, yeah. Act your own age. What does that even mean? There's no, like, quantitative or like, guide to, like, how you should act at a certain age, right? I think it should be the same for every age. You act the same, just don't be a dickhead, and you're good, right? I mean, I get children for the most part can't help it just because they're, naturally stupid, and they think they know better than everybody. I mean, just look at any comment section on any YouTube video. It's a bunch of kids trying to tell everybody else what's what, and they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. But once you get, into that more mature age, just don't be a dick, right? It's that simple. That's like the greatest rule of life. Don't be a dick. And everything else will be just fine. I don't know what's going on here, but the pilot truck stops backed up and they're causing a mess because there's guys probably in the fuel lane not fueling, and instead they're inside getting a cheeseburger or sitting in the bathroom stall playing with their ding-dong, and that causes a huge backup out onto the street because they are being dickheads, because they never learned that one crucial life lesson to not be a dickhead. But that is the general thing with most truckers, as it is with most people. They got that me first attitude, and when you get about 20 people with a me first attitude, you are going to end up with a clusterfuck, because they're all a bunch of dickheads. Self-important dickheads. Yep. Oh, this light is long. Ah, there we go. Am I gonna find parking? Yes. Right here between this Lexus and this Toyota Tacoma. All right, man. Ooh, that didn't sound good. That sounded expensive. So that is that. Everything that needed to be signed for has been signed for. And in fact, at the time of this recording right now, they have told me that my truck is done and they just need payment. So that's being worked out between my insurance, their insurance, and my company, and whatever. I'm not paying for it, so that needs to get sorted out. And once it's paid for, I can go ahead and pick it up and I'll be ready to get back on the road on November 2nd. But while I wait for that, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this banana bread beer, which sounds scary and intriguing all at the same time. Thanks for watching.